Ombudsman defending this unbeaten record. Going into stall 4, followed by Military Order. And Phantom Flight will be the last in. Lined up, and they're away. They're off and racing for the Group 3 Star Sports Brigadier Gerard Stakes. Cicero's Gift may be a little slow into stride. Almaqam bounds on into an early lead from Phantom Flight in second. In the red cap, Ombudsman, worn by Ryan Moore. White cap, William Buick on Military Order to the outside, just going third now. And then Emfajar in fifth place, a couple of lengths to R4, and finally Cicero's Gift. So Almaqam going on and leads by about a length and a half to Phantom Flight in second. Military Order is on the outside third. Ombudsman is just behind those. A little keen Ombudsman, then Emfajar, Cicero's Gift, and Afur at the back of the field. Continuing on down the back straight, soon they'll be swinging right-handed, and it's Almaqam and Oisin Murphy, shadowed now by Military Order and William Buick on the outside. Ombudsman is just in behind them with Phantom Flight, Emfajar the inside, Cicero's Gift, and Afur. So turning now, turning right-handed, and on their way towards home. And when they swing up the home straight, they'll have just under 4 furlongs to cover. And it's Almaqam who's made it all so far in the yellow jacket. From Military Order, White Cap in second. Phantom Flight is third, parked on the rail. Followed then by Ombudsman, then Emfajar and Cicero's Gift, and Afur at the back of the field as they race up the home straight, about to pass the 3 furlong marker. And still it's Oisin Murphy on Almaqam. Just ridden along, woken up a bit is Military Order. Phantom Flight on the inside. Ombudsman out wide, coming there now under Ryan Moore in that red cap, followed by Cicero's Gift and Emfajar. It's still Almaqam. Here comes Ombudsman, looking a big threat on the outside. Inside the final 2, Almaqam got a real fight on here. Ombudsman is attacking. It's Almaqam just from Ombudsman. They're kicking away from the others as they race on up the hill. Almaqam is holding on from Ombudsman. Ombudsman staring his first defeat here in the face, and Almaqam will not be passed and wins the Brigadier Gerard. Almaqam wins from his second Ombudsman. Phantom Flight in third, and Military Order was fourth.
Almaqam has dominated every inch of the Star Sports Brigadier Gerard Stakes, and he's returned 7-4. The winner here, Oisin Murphy for Ed Walker. Ed Walker has been agonising over which race to run him in for the last couple of weeks. He's called it right. This horse has won. He's earned himself a tilt at something better again, and I'm sure this will come as a huge relief to him. And he's got the better of the hitherto unbeaten Ombudsman, who's run extremely well, and the pair of them were pleasingly clear.
Yeah, a nice performance, I thought. From a horse who's still improving. He stayed very well, Nick. I thought the further he went, the better he was. It took a couple of times for Oisin to put his hands back on his rein, straighten him up. He looked as if he was lugging a little bit left the whole way round, actually. He went round the bend on the wrong lead, but he kept finding, and this was a nice straightforward ride from Oisin on the... Made his mind up out of the gates, made all, and nice even fractions throughout.
1987, a horse carrying these silks won this race. That horse's name was M. Toto. That was the day that he really announced himself as a horse of significant talent. He went on, of course, to win the Eclipse and many other great races, and I'm sure that Ed Walker will have either that race or the Prince of Wales' Stakes uppermost in his mind. This place suits this horse well. I'd be coming back here for the Coral Eclipse.
It does suit him well, and, you know, I think he doesn't have to make his own running. He'd nearly be better with a lead in the right type of race. And look, today, tactically, they've got it absolutely spot on, and Oisin's made sure he built early enough because he's a strong stayer at the 10 furlongs. And he was too good for Ombudsman, who had no excuses. I thought he travelled into the race nicely under Ryan Moore, just couldn't quite find the extra gear that was needed.
0.97 under standard. He's dictated it at a good even clip. He's recorded a good time, classy horse. Surely on to better things now. Almaqam wins the Brigadier Gerard. Well, Oisin, that's the first time you've ridden Almaqam in a race. What sort of feel did he give you today?
Really nice, Ed. He's very, or Nick, Ed's comments were he's very relaxed and easy to ride. I loved his temperament, and he's run to a high level. Ombudsman is a fair benchmark.
And was it always the intention to get out there and to try and dominate?
I didn't discuss it with Ed, but I had a good think about it when Bolster came out and when Ancient Wisdom came out. thought I might be able to lead, and I was able to sort of dictate without slowing down too much.
And in terms of the ground preference, Ed's always said he didn't want the ground too quick for him. What do you feel, having ridden him today?
No, Ed's right. There's loads of juice on the ground today. That's probably key. He's a big horse with big feet, and he has a bright future provided he continues to get his conditions.
Do you think he's up to acquitting himself when in a really big race like the Prince of Wales or the Eclipse?
I think that was a decent renewal of the Brigadier Gerard. Obviously, very famous race, but the second was unbeaten, and we pulled clear of the field. I think they're two smart horses.
All right, Esher, well done.
Thank you.
Well, Rishi, we've been busy enough, Ed Walker and I, trying to work out what the plans have been for the last couple of weeks. You were dancing this way and that. You must be mighty relieved you've made the right call.
I'm normally quite decisive, but this time, this horse, this race has kind of stewed me a bit. And as you know, we spoke a few times and ducked the Group 1s at the weekend and came here for what I thought would be an easy opportunity. And then the entries were out and I was like, oh God, should have gone to France. And anyway, thank God he's back winning. And that's really what I just wanted to see him do. And I was so disappointed, to be honest with you, last time. He was just so laid back and asleep. He was still on his winter holidays. And I was kind of a bit cross with him, really. He was just, didn't help Tom out at all. And anyway, today he looked much sharper and much more like the horse we know.
Tell me, what's he like to train?
Well, he's very big and he's very laid back. Most of the time we're trying to keep a lid on these horses, and with him, you're almost having to wake him up. And the problem when they're big and laid back is getting the work into them and getting them fit enough. We've not, as most trainers, we haven't been on the grass at all this spring, which I think certainly hampered him going into the Gordon Riches. But no, he's a wonderful. He's got an awesome temperament. I mean, he's so chilled and clearly very talented.
So to that end, could you almost treat today like his first run of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I said to Esher, I said, God, he had a heart attack, furlong and a half down as Gosden's horse loomed it'd be fascinating to know what the in-running prices were. But Esher said he hadn't really asked him yet, and he'd been in front all that time on his own. So, yeah, I think he will keep improving. Ground's very important. I think we mustn't be lured into the big races on fast ground like I was last year. I made a mistake going into the St James's Palace and then very quick ground at Deauville, and I think we mustn't do that again this year. So I think the ground is important, and I think those autumn targets are made for him really. Champion Stakes, and I stuck him in the Arc because Ryan said last year that he wants a mile and a half, and then we talked about his pedigree, and he was like maybe not, and I sort of agree on pedigree. But then O'Sheen's got off here and said he stays really well. So I think there could be more to come over further.
And also, how encouraged are you by the fact that he could go out there, do it on his own, relax in front, and then just keep digging in?
Yeah. So part of me was worried that Gosden's horse is clearly very good, and was just going to breeze past us. But also, I know how tough he is, and he can lead work at home. He can sit in behind. He is very, very versatile. So that's a real strength. And I think when he does go to those big meetings, whether it's Champions Day, Arcs, at Royal Ascot, wherever he ends up, he's got the temperament to cope with all that.
Given that he won the Heron Stakes so well here last year, given that he's won today so well, given that he ran well here last time, the Coral Eclipse is only round the corner. Is that in your thinking?
100% he's in it. The ground is the key.
So if it was like today, for example,
we'd definitely have a go. Yeah. And I think, Ascot, if Ascot came up soft, he won't need to do a huge amount between now and Ascot. It probably won't, but it might do. Then we'd consider the Prince of Wales as well. So yeah, kind of the ground will really dictate where he ends up.
It's been a great week for you. How's Maghera come out of her win in the Temple Stakes?
Yeah, really well. Bouncing. She's been a real pleasant surprise this year and a real fluke to land in our yard. So very happy and grateful to have her.
I don't need to ask where she's going next, do I?
No, it's pretty straightforward, that.
Right, good. King Charles III it is for her, and who knows what it is for this fella, but one thing we do know, it's going to be good races all the way from here. Ed, congratulations. I know this will mean an awful lot to you.
Cool. Thanks, Nick. Cheers.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.